Hollywood Bets Gravel, second race on the card. Let's get straight into our action for race number 2. It's a maiden class field over 1,400 metres, and we're hoping that Aberdeen wins. As a reminder about our social media handles, at Weighted to Win, our WhatsApp number for Racing TV, YouTube, multiple options for you to watch. Now to the action. Let's go. Aberdeen, Mr. Burrows, can we start with that? Bank of that in your bipot? What's your plan?
Definitely, Clyde. The horse to beat. Last time out, you should have seen what happened to him at the start. As they jumped, two horses bumped him terribly, and he was stuck about 15 lengths off the speed, turning for home. How he made up the ground, I don't know, but he showed that he's quality. He is a horse looking for 1,800 meters. I'm hoping that with the blinkers this time around, Richard can get him into a good position, and he'll finish his race off strongly.
Okay, I see that Foreshore came out there and won. Nelson Bay, the form's unreal, Mr. Marie, with Aberdeen. Behind this horse, Fibonacci.
Yeah. What can I say? He looks to win.
You
Just
like
needs to put in a similar efforts, and I think he will, Clyde. His danger could be number 8, Kaya Mai. Obviously, he's making his debut for his new yacht, Tony Peter. Hasn't got the worst of form in the Western Cape. Let's see how he goes. But I do believe Aberdeen's a confident bipot banker.
Okay. Kaya Mai, well, the form's also good there. Zil Morris and Mike Golly Molly came out of that monumental form. The form's solid there as well, so just watch out. But we're on Aberdeen. Let's take a look at our bipot now. We'll go straight up, and Darren Burrows is going straight up with number 5, Aberdeen, to open up race number 2 for his play. And we've also got a bipot worked out for you. Here are the numbers. Let's take a look at them. Banker 5, and then you'll notice we're going 1, 4, and 7 by Banker 1, by 1, 5, and 6, by 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, and 4 and 5 at the back. Cost you 90 Rand every time you take a full unit. Third race, this is the Debonair Stakes. It's over 1,400 metres. From a market perspective, I can tell you that number 7 on the card, Kingdom of Gold, is the favourite at 33 to 10. Number 10, Oriental Bouquet, is the second choice at 11 to 2. And then you can get about 7 to 1 about number 4 on the card, Dolcezza. Let's get up to Mr. Burrows and just chat about the race. Sean Terry there, and got a strong hand. Kingdom of Gold, they've opened that up as favourite. Blinker Marlowe's the partner. You like it?
Clyde, I do like her. You know, last time out we labelled her, and she got the upper hand late, suggesting she's looking for further. And she goes the 1,400 meter trip. I think she's the horse to beat, but this is a tricky race. I mean, you got Oriental Bouquet that took on Open Company last time out and wasn't disgraced. You've got Dolcezza, that form line when she beat No Filter. No Filter came out to win, and the third place runner was my strong fancy the other day that was scratched, Lady Something. Soldier's Eye is interesting because she's got a terrific turn of foot, but she's got a 13 draw, so she's going to slot in off the pace. And Secret Identity was an impressive winner in her second start. But Kingdom of Gold, I think she's good enough for the first 3. Let's see if she shortens in the market race time.
All right, we'll watch that closely. Obviously, draws very important, 1,400 metres, with particular reference to Mao Wings horse. Yeah, Daryl?
Yeah, she's going to have to need a lot of luck in running.
Yeah.
Soldier's Eye, Clyde. Kingdom of Gold, very impressive last time out. I mean, she was running right through to the line, suggesting that she's going to appreciate the extra. She has met Dolcezza. There was short separating the two of them. She was making her debut, whereas Dolcezza was having her second start. Dolcezza hit the front a long way from home. I don't think there's going to be much separating the two. I actually like the way Dolcezza quickened up when winning a maiden, because take note, Clyde, she was, I think, the only horse on the entire card that was drawn towards the outside that won. That day, there was a distinct bias down towards the inside. This number 1 key element, her form line concerns me, because Woodland Glade and Shilpa's Moon didn't frank it. But if you just look at her, you can see she's got substance and ability, and I think she'll improve with racing.
All right. We'll make a note of that. Let's have a look at the place accumulator. Here we go. And we're going 1, 4, and 7 in the first leg by banker 1 in the second leg. Then 1, 5, and 6 by 5 and 6 by 4 and 5 by 3, 7, 8, and 10 by 3, 6, and 10. That's the place accumulator perm from Daryl for the Saturday meeting. So we're doing this Friday, remember, and out of this, the first leg of the Pick 6, 2 and 11 have both been scratched. They're not running the 2 and 11. This was Give Me Another Chance, was an impressive winner of its last start. You know, it annihilated its field when it took them on and won by 5. And there have been a couple out of there that have franked the form from that particular line. And I'm not sure in terms of what it takes on now, this horse, Daryl, that there's much else in here that we need to give too much to respect to, or is there?
Yeah, you have to respect juveniles, Clyde. You don't know at what rate they are improving, but they're going to have upped the game substantially to trouble this favourite. He was super impressive last time out. His penultimate start behind Lucky Lad. How great is that starting to look? French Impact confirmed that form. And if I'm not mistaken, the 3rd, 5th, and 6th all came out and ran second in their next start. So
yeah, they did.
I really believe it's a steering job for Keegan DeMello. Let's hope so.
Should be. Let's hope so. Okay. All right. Well, they are betting, just by the way, 7 to 10 on the Friday. 10 to 1. Bar 1, Mr. Burrows?
I couldn't believe the price. He actually opened 14 to 10 and he shortened right down 6 or 7 to 10. But super impressive last time out. You could see he was crying out for the extra. And he raced handy, went to the front, never in doubt. From a 1 draw, if he pushes forward, I expect him to win. And this is a banker for our big Pick 6.
Okay, we've got a banker in the gate crasher. Let's take a look at what it looks like then. There are a few, I think, that Darren has worked out, or just this one. Yeah, banker 1, and then 1, 5, 6, 10, then 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, then 3, 4, 5. Filled in the second last leg, and at the last we're going 2, 3, 6, 7, 10. Perhaps it's not as predictable as it may seem with all of those very good horses running throughout the day. Mr. Burrows is taking his chances. As I said, let's start here. It's do or die in the first leg of the Pick 6. Here's the Cup Trial. What a great race. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all pans out in the build-up to the Hollywood Bets Durban July. 1 Rock Pool is favourite. Lovely horse. Got that low action at 2 to 1. Second choice, number 6, Quasi for sure, 5 to 1. And then you've got number 6, Winchester Mansions at 6 to 1. 10 Shoemaker is at 7 to 1. I believe the blinkers are on. And Union Square is at 17 to 2. So now 12s and better about the others. So, interesting race, Mr. Burrows. Let's talk about it. See how Rockpool handles Gravel. That's the first question.
Yes, Clyde, I love this horse Rockpool. He's got a very unique action and like a daisy cutting action. And I think with Cape Eagle in the race, maybe litigation pushes forward. I'm hoping there's a genuine pace for him because he will be slicing through the field. Surely Richard's going to start moving on him early, just as before they come into the straight. And hopefully the gap's open. Winchester Mansion was impressive in the Gravel 1900 behind Pekaya. You got Quasi for sure. Does he stay or doesn't he? Last time out over the 1900, not striding out. So that doesn't give you a clear indication that he stays more than a mile. You can't ignore him. Shoemaker, he's having his 4th run within a month. That's my concern, but he's got to be a runner. Cape Eagle, good last effort. I haven't included him, but he is a strong front runner. Those are my leading lights.
All right. There are a few in here. This race depends whether or not they qualify for the Durban July or not, depending how they perform. The only thing that for me, I think they can run Rockpool over is the track because, you're constantly on the turn at Gravel. You're always on the turn. Most of the race anyway, you're always on a bend.
I would have loved to see him drawn out wide, Clyde. He's the type of horse that needs to unwind. And I don't think the 1 draws in his favour because on paper today it appears as if he lacks early toe. So if he jumps out and he's not able to hold the position, he might find 3 or 4 horses ahead of him on the fence, and that won't allow him to get rolling early. So if he was drawn out wide, I think Richard would have the opportunity of looping them and getting going early. But he's obviously here with a mission in mind to get into the Hollywood Bets Vodacom Hollywood Bets Durban July Clyde. So they're going to be giving it a full go. Winchester Mansion, I loved his first starts as a gelding. He obviously holds Quasi for sure. Now, Quasi for sure on that occasion was dropped out from a wide draw. I don't know if they were testing the waters to see if he stayed or not. But I find it very interesting that the tongue targets refitted. Perhaps he choked up because he moved up and then he just found very little. This horse is very versatile. He can push forward. We saw with Joshua Solomon's that day, he led. Last time out, he came from last. So I expect him to be a little bit handier this time around, and he'll run a much improved race.
Okay, so there are a few in here, as you heard. If it's not drop pool, then there are quite a few that you need to take into consideration. Much of a muchness thereafter. We'll see just how good this horse is on Saturday. Here's a look at what the recommendation is for you guys. Jackpots 1, 5, 6, 10, by 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, by 3, 4, 5, by field at the back. All right, what are we doing in the Tibashina? We'll talk to Darren Burrows quickly and find out. And Daryl Marie, number 11, Marigold Hotel is the 7-2 favourite. 7, Tipsy Tarragon is 5-1. And number 12 going up on the Friday was 5-1. Then 6-1 about number 6, Shantastic, and 8s or 10s and better about the others. Open, from my perspective, your perspective, Mr. Burrows?
Well, there's a lot of leading lights in this race. You can touch on 7, 8 runners out of the 12. Now, Shantastic. This filly was super impressive over course and distance in her penultimate start. I don't think she stays more than 1,400. So last time in the Guineas, put a line through that effort. Back to the 1,400, terrific turn of foot. I think Shantastic will be right there. Now, Tipsy Tarragon, strong front runner. Last time out, won well, but she's got more to do. Going up is interesting because she's got tons of ability and she won with a lot in hand in Cape Town last time out. Marigold Hotel and Humdinger.
Okay. Just had a bit of a break with Darren. We'll get back to Darren in a moment. Mr. Marie, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I don't think the mile was the issue last time out with Shantastic. If you just watch that race, she got done 2 or 3 times in the straight, so she was very unfortunate. But I agree with Darren that probably more effective over the 1,400. Tipsy Tarragon, go back a few runs, Clyde. I think it was on the 23rd of February. She actually got beat by Marigold Hotel, and yes. Marigold Hotel's 3.5 kilograms better off.
Yeah.
But she was very impressive in her latest victory. So with Marigold Hotel drawn out wide, there is a possibility that she can reverse that form despite the weight turnaround. Okay. Mrs. Browning interests me. Now you can see in her penultimate start behind Brave Viking, she's well held by Tipsy Tarragon, and she's worse off at the weights.
Yeah.
But take note, Clyde, she was returning from a 6.5-month layoff on that occasion.
Yes.
They dropped her out, and she stayed on beautifully. This filly, don't read too much into the rating. She's unexposed. She's got a lot more to offer, and we're going to see plenty more of her. So I think this is a fantastic race.
Yeah, that is absolutely. Mrs. Browning is very good. I want to go back to Darren Burrows quickly, just to catch up with his final selection on this race. Darren, I was going to come back to you. You were saying, so your top 2 or 3 in this race, and then we'll go to selections?
Shantastic, my first choice, over Going Up, and then split between Humdinger and Marigold Hotel for minor money.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll take you back to selections now. Here is the final summary from what the guys think. Darryl's worked out to pick 3 for us, where the race is open. So 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, by 4 and 5, by field. The Hollywood Bets Gold Challenge, race number 7. Fantastic race. You've got Charles Dickens coming to show his worth. Well, they priced him up 5 to 10 to win here. You can get 7, 8 to 1 about number 5, Al Mutana. 3 Trip of Fortune, the stablemate, 10-1, and then 12-1 on the Friday about number 1, Cousin Casey. All right, starting with Daryl Marie, I'll go straight to you, Mr. Marie. Let's talk about just how good Charles Dickens is and how impressive he was last time. You're learning all about it. I think he's still learning all about it. Or what?
Clyde, we can't say enough about this horse. He's just brilliant, isn't he? I want to know, Clyde, have a look at the race. You've got the field in front of you there.
Yes.
Who's the likely pacemaker? Where's the pace angle over here?
I don't know.
Come now.
I don't know.
Help me.
I don't know. I mean, Royal Aussie, surely.
Eh?
Won't Royal Aussie do it? Set the pace or something like that for the stable?
For who?
For Justin Snaith?
I don't know.
I know. I'm not sure.
And
Are you worried?
the
Is that what
reason-
worries you, the pace?
The reason why I bring that up is I think the slower they go, the more they're going to be playing into Charles Dickens' hands, because we know his turn of foot is sensational. I mean, there's no need to touch on the form, Clyde. Just go back to the Queen's Plate. Now, Al-Mutana obviously beat him in the Queen's Plate. Aldo got off that day and said he wasn't quite at his best, but he does meet Al-Mutana 3.5 kilograms worse off and a beating. That has to bring Al-Mutana into the equation. But Charles Dickens, obviously, I'm sure he's strengthened up and he's improved since then. Al-Mutana, now, Ricky Maingard, his last winner, Clyde, was in the Queen's Plate. Can you believe it, eh?
Yeah.
But this horse, he won this race last year. He's back to defend his crown. On paper, he's a runner. I think he's got a big chance of reversing the form with Trip of Fortune, because he turned into the straights about 4 or 5 lengths behind Triple Fortune and was in need of that run. So I'm just going 4 and 5. I think, personally, I'll be shouting on the champion.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody will. We'll see what he's all about. Mr. Burrows, your take on Charles Dickens?
Clyde, he's got to be a massive runner, but I wouldn't be taking 4-10 about him because this is a competitive race. It's a hot field. Now, Charles Dickens, he's got a terrific turn of foot, which will suit the Gravel short run-in as it did last time out. Surely he's come on in fitness from his last start. But I can tell you, Al-Mutana in the King's Plate, he beat Charles Dickens and he's 3.5 kilos better off at the weights. His last run, he turned into the straight 10 lengths back. He got beat under a length. He won this race last year. He's going to be no pushover. So Charles Dickens and Al-Mutana, I would rather take the place bet on Al-Mutana at 12-10 than take 4-10 about Charles Dickens. Trip of Fortune, a top miler. He can't be ignored. I've played the safe routes in the pick 6, numbers 3, 4, and 5, but we'll all be shouting Charles Dickens on.
Yeah, fair enough, but a good assessment. Interesting to see this is the day now, Saturday, as to what Charles Dickens is all about. Here we go. Let's have a look at the selections. There's a quartet from Darren Burrows where he says, let's go 3-4-5 by 3-4-5 by 3-4-5. And field at the back, Daryl. That's what Darren's recommending.
Yeah, Clyde, obviously we backed him up in the exotics, but there's no doubt we want to see the champion rise to the top. It's very interesting, Clyde, when there's a little bit of a carrot dangling. It's amazing how jockeys can take some weight off, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you'd also be taking weight off
Yeah,
for this, wouldn't you?
I would.
Yes. Okay, right. There's the bet. Let's go. All right, we're on to the 8th now. Let's take a look at what the plan is for race number 8 on the card. This is the Durban Dash, as it's known, and it's over the 1,100 metres, where the market has got favourite number 7, Southern Skies, at 7-2. Number 3, Smith & Wesson, is 6-1, second choice, or joint with the 10 Ensuing at 6-1 and 7-1 about number 9 on the card, who is Rulership. Challenging race, Darren. I think you had the whole field here or something, am I right, in your picky?
Yeah, Clyde, this is tough. You know, I can touch on 9 runners and still not find the winner. I thought very tricky. You know, Smith & Wesson's in form, brings Highveld form. Captain Bombshell's got a big chance, if not in need of the run, which is highly unlikely because Peter Muscat gets him fit and Richard Foury's taken the ride. You've got Acacia's Blossom dropping in Trip. Her best form has come over 1,200. You've got your current favourite, Southern Skies, brings solid Highveld form into the race. A length and a half off Dave the King last time. Rulership's got a chance. Ensuing, Captain Casey and the list goes on.
That goes on. There are quite a few in here with an ability. There's a long shot in here. Who knows how good that is? Gallivanting. I don't know how good it is. It seemed very impressive in Joburg, but might still need the run, Mr. Murray.
Yeah, she's actually best weighted 2 pounds ahead of Southern Skies. Yeah, Clyde, she's had her issues in the past. Let's see how she moves down to the start. Ensuing, I think the 10 draw is actually a blessing for him because he likes to be given a chance and run at them. That's when he's most effective. In cracking form, we actually saw Cheeky Laddie frank that form. So let's see how he goes. Even a horse like number 8, Jet Legacy. Now, last time out, very disappointing, but it was on the poly track, Clyde. Prior to that, his turf run at Scottsville, I know the form line is very suspect, but he won that with a ton in hand. He's got course experience. He's only got 51.5 to shoulder, and I wouldn't read too much into the fact that he's out at the weights because he has a horse that's only had 3 starts. He's very unexposed. So, yeah, you want to have as many as possible.
Yeah, many as possible. Here's a look at what we're doing. You heard from both of our guys. Not sure. Daryl says pick 3 field, so it's a whole lot by 3, 6, 10. And maybe right at the back that Oslo Master Josh. Wait for that in the 10th. Ninth race, number 2, our Emily tops the boards at 7-2 to win on Friday. 3, Reefway. Form's not too bad, Reefway, so far. So good. The horses like La Pura Vida won and Valeria's Dream won and Place, a lot of places. So the Amarandi form has been holding up quite nicely for a horse like that. And then third choice, number 6, Shanta's Pride, who trades at 9-2. You can get 6-1 and better the others. The 9th race, final leg of the Pick 6 PA. Daryl Marie, what's the play?
Don't shoot me down in flames, Clyde.
Never.
Here's a horse going for 6 on the bounce. Our Emily. Well drawn. Everything in her favour. I'm playing against her.
Yes.
Don't be upset,
No, sure. I can understand. Well, she's in terrific form, yeah?
Reefway. Here's a filly. She's a 3-year-old. She's currently an 88. It's the highest she's ever been. And what does that tell you? She's on the upgrade. You've touched on the form line. I actually think she's better around the bend. Clyde. Another one that won from that form is, indirectly, is Kayleen.
Yes.
So she'll be doing her best work late. And then you got the 2 Hollywood Syndicate fillies, Shanta's Pride and Sharfolia. They've met before. I won't read too much into that because it was on the poly track. But Shanta's Pride last time out, she quickened up from a long way off the pace. And Gravel's turf straight is very short, so it's never easy to pick them up like she did, Clyde. I actually think coming back to 1100s in her favour because she has got her issues. So yeah, 3, 6 and 10 for me. I'm going with Reefway as my top pick.
Okay, the Reefway is the top pick from Daryl. Darren Burrows, also on Reefway?
Yes, I've circled this filly. I like her. You know, they tried her over 14 and a mile before and she didn't stay. She's an out-and-out sprinter. The drop to 1100 is not going to be a concern. And I just believe she's on the up and she's got the draw, everything in her favour. Our Emily, now 5 in a row, but all by a neck or a head. She gets into a fight in front and she just keeps on rolling. You can't ignore her chances because, I mean, she's done absolutely nothing wrong. Whenever she steps up in the ratings, she keeps on winning. You got Shanta's Pride. I'm not sure if she had an op or what, because she had severe respiratory noises, and her last couple of starts after that rest, she's really come well. You got Sweet Symphony. I don't think she's out of it. She's better off at the weights with our Emily. I think she's got a squeak. And Sharfolia. Her 2 wins have come on poly, and she's got a deep draw. So I think Reefway will be in the first 3.
Okay, well, Darren Burrows also on Reefway, as is Daryl. Darren Burrows more the place, respecting our Emily. Here's a look at what we're doing. The 9th race, we're going 3, 6, 10, the last double, into Master Josh at the back.